Gotta give him a signal.
Whenever you're ready, sir. This is it's going to be quick and dirty. It's just a simple police commission meeting, if there's such a thing.
Isn't that name of It's a song, isn't it?
Probably a rap song, probably. That's Roseanne. She's part of that generation. She's part of the hip-hop generation.
He's focusing on where an entrance is off of a
Police
road
commission.
to a farm
Ready?
stand, specifically at the intersection.
Okay, like to make a motion to open police commission meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Flag, actually, I'm sorry, the flag is over there.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Did everyone get a copy of the agenda?
Yes.
Does anyone have any changes to the agenda?
No.
Anyone like to make a motion to accept the agenda as written?
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there any public input?
Yes.
I'll take that as a no. Does anyone have any announcements in regards to the police commission? No, I'll take that as a no also. We will go directly, Joe, we'll go directly into the reports then.
Just one quick correction at on the cover page, where you have defensive action reports with the number, that should be a 4.
Okay.
I have 3 written down, that's a typo. And you'll see the actual documents for the defensive action indicate 4, and there's 4 different reports enclosed. Okay, the first defensive action involves one 48-year-old male, 6'2", 210 pounds, medium build. Individual was charged with disorderly conduct and willfully resisting arrest. They attempted to place the individual into custody, where he failed to comply with the verbal directions. The officer used OC spray, which after he did the spray, the person became compliant, was able to handcuff him without any further. We did. Person refused any medical attention for decontamination, but officers do decontamination all the time in regard to that, so there's no injury involved. The second involves 2 defensive action reports being filed. One individual being 23-year-old male, 5'6", 250 pounds, large build. The second individual, 24 years of age, 5'9", 215 pounds, large build. Both individuals were fighting with each other. Officers attempted to break it up. Charges are disorderly conduct, obstructing governmental administration, as well as resisting arrest. In attempting to break the 2 up, the officer deployed his ASP, delivering strikes to the leg area. Eventually, they were able to gain compliance with the assistance of additional officers. After the incident, it was learned there were 2 brothers that were actually fighting, but it was a real fight. It wasn't just playing around. Alcohol was a factor. We did call rescue to check them out, although they did not request it, just for evaluation, but no further, no transportation was provided, and they were refused any medical attention. The next one involves 2 reports filed. These are actually the same individual at 2 separate incidents under the same case. When the individual was first, he's a 27-year-old male, white, 6'2", 180 pounds, medium build. He was being charged with criminal obstruction of breathing, resisting arrest, endangering the welfare of a child, and assault third. This had to do with a domestic dispute. The officer at the time of removing the defendant, I'm sorry, that's the second one that goes with it. The first one was involved in a domestic dispute. The officer involved placed his hand behind his back, at which time he attempted to flee. The officer grabbed him, did a takedown, brought him to the ground, where they were able to handcuff him without anything further. While at the station getting ready for arraignment, They attempted to remove him from the bench to handcuff him again behind his back to bring him for arraignment, at which time he resisted again. The officers had to take him down to the ground where they put him in handcuffs and were able to bring him for arraignment. No injuries were involved. The next offensive action has 2 reports filed. Individual, 34-year-old male, weight 5'7", 180 pounds, medium build, had to do with an assault third and a criminal mischief in the 4th degree. When we received a phone call for a violent domestic, officers were told by the reporting person that he's believed to have a firearm. Officers entered the residence with their handguns drawn, ordered the individual to show his hands, at which time he did. They were able to take him into custody without anything further. No injuries were reported. That's all the defensive action reports we have, and there are no accommodations this month.
I guess the only one which we did not include the report, since we just received it yesterday, actually at Town Hall, if you could refer to it, we did receive on the Police Commission complaint form, compliment form, we did receive a complaint, and it was sent via registered certified mail to our town clerk. So the town clerk then gave it to me. And in reading it, it was not involving our agency.
Correct.
I did contact the chief, and the chief and I spoke about it, and then I guess you can take it from
Sheriff's
there.
Department. Sure.
We wouldn't identify normally the department for which we was involved in it. It was another agency.
Yes, I received an email
Withdraw.
prior to that, along with the other agency being in the email, and also the mayor was copied in it. I forwarded to that agency because when I noticed the report and what the complaint was, it was not our agency involved. So I forwarded that information to that agency. I also sent an email to the mayor just indicating that, just so he's aware, this is not one of our members, and that I forwarded to that agency. The following day, I think it was, I got another email from the individual along with a copy of this complaint form, and at that time I forwarded that also to the other agency.
Withdrawn.
Things haven't gone on that. As well as reaching out for the individual, explaining to him that it was not our agency. However, I did receive his information and forwarded. We did receive a certified copy as well as the town. I wasn't in the office yesterday, so Lieutenant Lucchese, when he saw the copy, he reached out to the person also, explained the same thing, and he was very appreciative that we took the effort to call. And the lieutenant also gave him some contact information for that other agency.
He reached out to me as well.
Clear.
Did the same thing.
So I think we have it all covered from all ends. But
So all the commissioners know, though, the copy that we received in the town hall, I have then put a cover letter on it, and I forwarded it to your department, so you'll receive it when you pick up your mail, and you'll include it in your jacket.
I'll keep it in our files. Even though it's unfounded on our agency part, I keep all the records of any complaint that's filed.
Very good, Chief. Thank you.
And I'd like to report that I received an email from a person out of town with some concerns. I sent him the complaint form with the direction as to what to do with it.
I think you might have heard from the same person.
I made sure that it was the update form from the town.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you whether or not anything further has happened.
Sounds like it's the same.
Yeah.
It could be.
Individual,
Could be,
could be,
but
yeah.
just in case it's not, I'd rather.
Well, if I get another one, I'll let you.
If we receive another one in town hall, I will forward it as. For adopting minutes, I believe, Roseanne, we have just the June 18th. Does that sound correct?
July 16th.
Two sets.
Did you look at these? Yes, and the July 16th.
How about you?
The June 18th, Kevin, was the one with the school contractor services
Right.
and traffic control for filming, which I believe are all done. We haven't gotten any this summer yet, have we?
Sorry?
We haven't gotten any requests for filming. Not in a while.
Not recently, then,
No, it's not.
quiet time.
There's plenty of time, always is.
Okay.
Do you have to make a motion, Kevin?
I'd like to make a motion that the police commission adopt the minutes from June 18, 2015.
Second?
Yes, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then the next one is the July 16th, and this is the fingerprinting grant one. That was an application for the
Yes,
fingerprinting
to do the application for it. It's been submitted.
We'll hear from that for,
It should come out soon, hopefully by the end of this month, mid next month.
We dealt with a complaint form on that. 5 weeks. I move that the police commission adopt the minutes from the July 16, 2015 meeting.
second?
All in favor?
Aye. Unless anyone has any other business, I would make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
If everyone's, you want to put that on? I think I'll go together. We can start if people are.
Marty?
Marty? It's 7:30. Of course you can.
Yeah, definitely see it, put it out there. You're slick.
Cut it out the goal.
All set.
I'd like to make a motion to open the August 20th meeting.
Seconded? Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can we all stand and pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everyone, welcome to the meeting, and I just want to open is, Susan was planning on being here, but due to a family emergency, she will not be attending tonight, and she sends her apologies. For the agenda, I'd like everyone to look at it, and then what we're going to do is, one, if you go down on the left side there, you see Hampton Inn Performance Bond. We're going to remove that. Then what I would like to add is I would like to add a discussion and to discuss the question and answer that everyone was sent out on Water District 5.
Okay.
Also like to add Plains Road appraisal approval. There's another one, Historical Huguenot Society agreement discussion. And acceptance of resignation from a member of the ENCB.
I'd like to also add the HVHS membership that we discussed at our previous meeting.
That would be part of the HHS agreement?
No, it's separate.
I'm sorry, what HVHS is?
It's the online database that the historian spoke with us
Yeah,
about.
we have that, that's part of the HHS. agreement.
Okay.
We have, it's all, it's in, it's,
Okay.
yeah, it's all part and parcel.
Great.
Absolutely, yep.
So moved.
So that's, everyone in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Is there anyone that would wish to address the board with any public input? Does anybody, yeah, oh, I'm sorry, oh, please, no, that's please.
Yeah, I just have, well, my question was answered. I was going to ask about an update for the Plains Road Water District, but there's obviously a lot that's going to be discussed here. And the only other thing I'd like to point out to anybody who's interested is that I'm not sure if the comments were made in the press. I'm not sure if it was made at a public meeting. But in public somewhere between the newspaper and the local governmental meetings, the comment was made that there's only a few families or homes on Plains Road who are concerned about this issue, who are opposed to the water district, and the number that was used was 5. Like there are 5 homes or 5 families opposed to it. And I just suggest, I'm going to suggest something that I'm sure Jeff is already aware of. If you drive down Plains Road, you will see many lawn signs on people's roads expressing their opinion about the water district. That's all.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any public input for the board?
Announcements.
Okay, for announcements, the first announcement is from the governor's office. It's actually a pretty major one from the governor's office. The New York Rising, the CDBG, the Community Development Block Grants, the governor's office on storm recovery has accepted your application for Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery funding to implement the Springtown Road Rail Trail Approach Reconstruction Project. The town of New Paltz may proceed with project development for the aforementioned project. As a reminder, this application acceptance does not constitute approval, which can occur only after the completion of environmental review. Additional reviews and clearances may be required throughout the project development, and these include and are not limited to, and they go through some of the government regulations. These are all the regulations they're asking for, though, are all of the pieces that actually go to develop the project. So that is fantastic news.
So what that means is that the town, people working for the town, submitted all the appropriate documents, completed all the appropriate sections, and they've acknowledged that through that document. Is that what that means?
And even one step further, they actually now are agreeing to, so they have, so to speak, opened up the first part of the banking account to allow us to now start billing them for doing the project. So we'll be able to harden the Springtown Road Bridge for emergency evacuations.
And I'd like to thank the town personnel that worked on that.
I think it's just about everybody.
Okay.
There's lots of it, yeah. Also for announcements, the dedication of the pavilion out at the community center, the language that has been put about to, both Johan got back to us and the family got back to us, is this pavilion is dedicated to the memory of Kyle Brewer and Margaret Zimmerman. May their memory live on in the beauty of this park and the land that surrounds it. If anyone has any changes to it, if you could let us know right away. If anyone has anything to put on it, we'd like to have a weekend that we could dedicate this, and also the Bruderhof has offered to provide a community picnic on that day to us.
So it'd be open to everybody in the community, which
whole community.
would be a great day. for
A great
everybody.
day. So one of the days we were throwing around, if anyone's, we were thinking is to do a Labor Day weekend, which I believe the Sunday, look at their calendar, the Sunday of Labor Day weekend, and again, unless someone has another idea, would be the 6th,
September 6th.
September 6th.
So we should try to target for that date.
That would be the date with, like, and does anyone have a, we were thinking 1 or 2 o'clock, does anyone have a feeling on that?
1 o'clock sounds good.
So 1 o'clock on the September 6th. The 7th obviously would be a holiday, would be Labor Day, and we would dedicate the pavilion, and again, the Bruderhof, who helped us build the pavilion, in fact, provided all the labor for the pavilion, has also donated furnishings for it. The loss of one of their members, it'll be dedicated to them, and also to the loss of Kyle Brewer. And also, again, they would like to make it a celebration of life also by providing a picnic to the community.
Did you wish us to approve that specific language?
I don't think, well, if you
It's-
want, Marty, if you
No,
want.
I thought that's what Jeff...
No, really just was anyone changing it. What it is we had left it up to the,
Family
it had been passed around. I would like to give the original first pass at it, actually, and I'm sorry he is not here. Chris Marks actually came up with the first pass at it for us. And then it went out to Johan, and it's also has gone out to Kyle's family, and has met approval. So they'll be open to any suggestions if anyone felt there'd be anything different they would like in it.
I think it sounds
So we'll be
great.
getting a plaque for that, and so let's all plan on attending Sunday, that day, again,
September 6th.
September 6th at 1 o'clock.
Very good.
Anyone else have any other announcements?
Okay.
Okay, if no one has any other announcements, I don't see Laura here yet. She was going to be doing some of these updates.
1 and 2, I believe.
Yeah, so what I would like to do then, just because we also have, we have Tom Rocco, we have Dave here, we have Dan here from the New York City Water, I would like to invite them up and have everyone review, and if anyone needs a copy of it, I'd like to review the question and answers. These are 40 different questions and answers. Dave sent out the last version of this. You got one? Okay.
I read them
just today.
today.
And Dan, you want to join us too? You read them through them today? Hey, you guys can steal some chairs. Would anyone like a copy? Tom, why don't you join us too? You certainly may. You may have something to give on this.
Watch your step.
Tom, you want to just take the...
Hi, how are you?
So everyone knows who we have here. We have Tom Rocco, who is a village trustee. We have Dan Machard, who is with the New York City DEP. And we have Dave Clauser, the engineer, both for the town and for the DEP project. What we have in front of us here, and I apologize, did you get, and Dave, you have one in front of you? What you have in front of you is, over a long period of time, we have Donna here also, who has been making public comment. We have been collecting questions, so we have gone through and got 40 answers to 40 questions. These have been vetted through engineering, they have been vetted through legal. These are the answers in writing. People have always asked me to provide, answers in writing. And so these are the answers now in writing, and again, they
And
are
you
to the
posted
best.
this on the website?
This
today,
actually
Jeff?
went up on the website about 3 hours ago. This again was the last update you will see on this was yesterday. We had some board members review through it. I reviewed through it, met with Dave actually today, and then posted it around 2 or 3 o'clock today onto the website. You can find it in 2 locations on our website. You can find it both on our agenda website, and you can find it under the water, under the 101 Plains Water tab on the town website. If anyone has any problem finding it, feel free to email me, and I will send you the direct link to it. Did anyone get an opportunity to read through this? I know I'm doing this a little bit short.
I did.
And
I read through it.
did you have anyone have any questions or something that sticks out to it right away on you? While we have everyone here in front of us.
I was pretty happy with it, actually. I think it's very comprehensive.
Tom, did you have any comments you wanted to make on it while we have you here?
It's been a laborious process that Dave has been the principal author of, but as I believe you mentioned only moments ago, it has been vetted by me, by our mayor, by our attorney, by your attorney, by a lot of people who have not only glanced at this, but studied it carefully and feel that it adequately addresses the many issues that have been presented in public. And we're happy that it will go up on your website. I will wait until our mayor is back in town before it will be presented to our board.
I thought it was interesting that there is an opt-out provision in this document which gives those individuals that don't necessarily want to use the municipal water not to use it. And there's another wrinkle in it, that the DEP will actually pay to bring the connection into their home and then cap it if they want to use their own well. Is that correct?
That's what's written here.
Okay, all right. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
And I don't want anyone to think this is the end to it also. These are the questions that we had up until this point. When further questions arise, we'll be doing the same exact piece. We will collect the data, we will see where we can...
Revision 2.
Exactly, or whatever revision. I think this is, yes, there will be another revision beyond that. I think one of the big pieces, this is also putting us a lot closer to sustaining what is a critical need in this community. If we do not fulfill this part of the project, the 101 Plains water source, we are telling the 7,000 users in the village of New Paltz and about the 400 users in the town that rely on the water district that you'll be charged. There's 3 scheduled shutdowns?
2 to 3, yeah.
2 to 3, and even with the water sources, we have one other water source we'll be using, and then along with the improvements to the system in New Paltz, the residents of the village and those on the water district will be burdened with somewhere between about $6 and $8 million additional cost. That would be about directionally correct.
Yeah, I haven't run the numbers, but I know it's significant cost.
It's up there.
And the $6 to $8 million per shutdown is not a DEP payment. The $6 to $8 million is a payment that the users would be actually paying for the water. Because to get the water in, it would have to come via truck.
So you just did a rough calculation of what it would take
Yeah, there's been
to...
some rough calculations
Dave has
of what
been
a
working on
trucking option would cost for a 10-week shutdown multiple times. And it's in the millions of dollars per event to gap that.
It's way up there, and each time there's a shutdown, you kind of start over with that too. There's nothing in place that's going to lessen that cost.
And perhaps it will only go up.
Do you think that maybe some of these questions then, maybe you could have another section of, I mean, I see here that you kind of highlight the benefits and the options available. Maybe we should also try to point out the unfavorable impacts if this doesn't happen. It's just an idea. Something that I think we should point out the things that village and town boards would have to deal with in the event something goes awry here.
And I think maybe we could pin down that number a little bit more, because I know we did some back of the math. It's somewhere, let's call a low number 5 million and a high number maybe then even
I would
6
just like
million.
to
Yeah.
comment briefly. Our attorney, and I believe yours, would at least have a concern about hypothetical situations. So when they looked at this, they said, this is a fact-based, and then with reference to regulation and law, sufficient that they can be comfortable with this. I'm not sure if we present them with a hypothetical, what will happen if this doesn't happen? And what will happen if we need to bring water in from some other, as yet, undefined source? I think they would not want to do that at this point, unless, well, I think they would not want to do that at this point.
And actually, I had that discussion with our attorney, and I will agree with part of it. This is using a defined source that the DEP has indicated would be one of the options.
Yes.
So the defined source would be trucking in water that would be short, which would be 300 gallons a minute. Would be about the shortness, that way this is what this would put us short. So then we can calculate that what was calculated back is taking 300 gallons a minute and just reverse mathing it to a number and where you would get it. And the only source to get it would be, we don't have a rail system coming into New Paltz, so the only other option would be to truck it in. So that wouldn't be a hypothetical, that would be an actual event. And that event would then occur, and the people that would be having to pay it would be the water users in the town. It would just be the people in the water districts in the village. The village is its own water district, so it would then encompass the whole
In a way, I
district.
kind of agree with Jeff on that point. I think you could be criticized for not disclosing what the downside is as well. So maybe you take the most concrete example of what the downside could be and express it. That's all I'm saying.
Good.
And Dave could do an official analysis of that. He's certainly budgeted to do that if that's something you guys
Okay.
wanted. I guess something the village would want it because his budget exists under the village. Correct.
And I think some of the hypothetical parts, right, and I would agree, would be, then you would have wear and tear on highways, where would they access water? So there would be other parts that would be harder to comment on,
Yeah.
but we can comment on the actual water and where it would come from, because there is no other source that can produce this amount of water that's sustainable, that's been identified and supported both by engineering, health department, DEP, DEC. So it's been vetted through all the agencies through multiple phases, as you and I both know and have read
Okay.
every document. So, anyone else have any questions while we have these three here? Marty, you have any questions, or Dan?
May I say one more thing?
You certainly may.
I would just like to commend you guys. This was a significant effort that, as you said, Dave led. Part of the homeowners have spoken up and they've asked for more communication. We're in the background here funding this. For you guys to step up and put a significant question and response together is, I think, a step in the right direction. And I think it's good for the community. And I'm glad you did it. Jeff,
Thank you.
thanks for...
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
I just want to point out that Jeff has shouldered 90% of his responsibility. And the hours that he's put in, people have no idea. I mean, and so I want to thank him for all of his work on this as well.
Well, thank you.
Jeff.
And I think just to follow up on this then, and while I have the three of you captive, I'd like to propose September 10th here at the community center, which would be
Special meeting?
it would be a update on the Plains Road. This would not be a town
Would
board
be an
meeting.
informational
This would be an
session?
informational session
Okay.
on proposed water districts in the community. And what we will do is we will have, Dave Clouser will be there as the engineer. I will have just given the date to the DEP now, so I ask you to say, but we
You
will.
guys set the date, and I'll make sure.
We will have DEP representation, we will have village representation, I imagine.
What day is that?
That is Thursday, the 10th.
What time do you want to do that?
I think the best time to do that would be at 7:30.
Okay.
Is this a meeting that you're going to invite the community?
And what we will be doing, we'll be inviting the community to it. I will be doing a mailing like we did the last time, so then I will be sending mail out to everyone in the proposed water district.
Put an ad in the
And
paper.
I will also be mailing out the answers to water system questions, so I'll be mailing that out to every one of the residents, so they have that. Yeah, this document we mailed out also, and so I will get out all those dates, and hopefully we can circulate that out and get.
We'll also have Russell Urban Mead here for the hydrogeology. If there's any questions that the public has on that,
Okay.
this would be a time to ask them.
Okay.
Russell will be here for
Anything else?
Just while I have you here, I more need Dave for it. The last piece, and while I have Dave here, you remember 2 meetings ago, I believe, or 2, 3? We approved money for an appraisal of the 101 Plains property. Dave did write up an RFP and sent it out. He did get 3 qualified appraisers. Unfortunately, only one of them can meet the timeline.
Which one?
The good news is he could meet the timeline and come in at an incredibly reasonable price. So fortunately, he didn't realize that it was our timeline and he had an advantage there. So the proposal that we would like to accept, I'd like us to accept the Hubble firm, which, is that correct? There you go, Kevin. And the reason being is,
What are they
again,
quoting their fee? That right here?
they are quoting their fee is $4,500.
Okay.
How did that compare to the other ones, Jeff?
They didn't,
that. The other ones couldn't meet the timeline.
Oh, so they
said
didn't even
are
submit it.
so busy this time of the year that they couldn't meet our.
we were asking for a timeline of 4 to 6 weeks, and to them, that was just way too quick, and these are all very large firms to come into.
So they declined to
They
submit.
declined to even submit a bid. And yeah, so this is also, the $4,500 is 100% reimbursable. So what we are asking is, as we mentioned, I forgot 2 or 3 weeks ago, again, I apologize, I forgot when we did the original, I believe it was in July. We will be expending the money now, but this is 100% reimbursable to the DEP.
So, do you want a resolution?
I don't believe we need a resolution, just simply a motion to
A
approve.
motion, okay, so a motion, I'd like to move that the town board approve the hiring of it's RP Hubble, isn't it?
Yes.
RP Hubble appraisal firm to conduct an appraisal of the property at 101 Plains Road for a total of $4,500.
Second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Dave, for doing that. Thank you.
Can I
All right,
ask a
thank you.
question before?
Thank you, Tom.
Can I ask a question? I don't know if you can answer it or be required of these gentlemen. It's a simple, I mean, I had a chance to read a little bit of this document. Thank you very much for providing it. In the very first section of bullet points, it talks about how the connection to the home's internal water system will be paid for, provided the contractor is allowed to install these service connections during the contract period. Could you explain what that means?
How long, what's the total contract period?
Would Dave want to take that?
You want to take this one,
I
Dave?
can
or-
take it, but I think Dave can answer that.
Okay.
It has to be done while the contractor is doing all the installation of the other
Thank you, Dan.
services. Can't be something where somebody several months later decides that they want a service. At that point, it would be up to them.
You're talking,
So
You're
you're
ta-
just talking, you just mean that when the connections are being made.
Right.
If I want my house hooked up, then I have to do it during that general time period.
Right.
Because the contract period, I thought that was a finite, maybe that was a finite period of time.
Dave, what do you think the contract period's going to be? Several months?
I could guess that the water district could be installed within 4 months.
Okay, okay. So the contract period, are you going to be referring to the contract period as the duration of the construction as opposed to a separate contract period for people to opt in? Do you know?
I think I'm talking about the installation would be done while the contractor's there on the site doing all of the other installs.
And you think, when you just said that you thought the system could be installed in 4 months, is that what you just said?
That's including the water mains in the street.
That's everything.
Yeah.
Weather permitting.
So when you,
And-
I'm assuming, or I'm going to guess, that at some point in time, the homeowners will be notified, or somebody will knock on the door, okay, you got to decide, do you want to hook up or not? And then, if I say yes, then I'll be told when hookup will take place in my house.
During the design period, we'll be contacting each homeowner to find out where the water surface is in their house, where the best connection would be, and how to avoid disturbance of the property as much as possible. So that'll be the first contact period, but you really need to make that decision quickly.
That actually, Don, is answered. I apologize, I can't remember what number it is, but it actually is answered in one. That's okay, though. No, we just,
No, I didn't get it.
no, I don't blame you one bit. There's only 40 of them, so it's going to take you a little bit to digest, but the point being is, and it will be, and why 4 weeks is very likely, is the contractor putting down the mains will not most likely be the contractor running the lines directly to your house. So we will have many contractors on scene, up to and including during the design phase. We will be going around with contractors and we will be discussing with the homeowners exactly where the line will be run. We're not just going to show up and put a backhoe in your front yard, dig a trench and say, here's where we're going, good luck. It would be run completely, and we need all of that done during that 4-month period, though, that construction period. Afterwards, the reason why we mention is afterwards, should someone change their mind and wish to hook in, then they would have the option, obviously, of still connecting to the water pipe in front of their house, but then to bear the cost from the curb cock to the home would then be borne by the homeowner. We would provide the meter, obviously, and then it would be run into the home. So that would still be an available option.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Which is why it would be best to accept the capped version in the basement with the opt-out.
Yeah, how does that work?
Then it would be,
How does it?
Dan, do you want to chat? Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Tom. You see, I gave Don a copy of it, yep, and it's on the website. You can keep that.
I mean,
Yes.
Thanks, Dan.
Dan, thank
Thanks,
you.
Dave.
okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Thank you for bringing him. We appreciate it.
Good job.
Thank you. We appreciate it. We will see you soon.
Yeah, we have an extra one.
We have a bunch of extras.
There's extras right up here.
Okay, next.
Without Laura here,
We'll move on
again,
to
it's a little bit difficult.
do the Greenway application.
You want to do one?
Want to do yours, Marty?
Marty, do you have one you want to do real quick?
On the Greenway,
Yeah, because I'm going to hold off, again, I want to hold off on these because the
I talked to
UCR...
Laura today, and she did indicate that she was coming, so maybe she'll be here a little later.
Yeah, so we'll hold off on those just for a moment here. Yeah, Marty, do you want to pop out the Greenway for us? Great.
The town and the village have been working together for creation of the Millbrook Preserve. And as has been reported previously, we applied to the state for a grant of approximately $191,000 to create parking at the top of Sunset Ridge and trails and bridges and interpretive signage. There's another grant opportunity. This one is very small. It's through the Greenway Conservancy Trail Grant Program. The village planner, Dave Gilmore, is working on a grant that would let us do improvements at the end of North Manheim that would allow for a few additional car parking and bike parking spaces to give another point of access into the Millbrook Preserve.
And I think what's important on this one too, though, Martin, is that this goes back to when you were on CWASC and I was on the board of the first, I think there was some, Terrence, I think you guys had a little misidentification of the properties. The first one that was purchased by the town was, at that time, was called Stoneleigh Woods, and that was just slightly over 62 acres. That was the original purchase. It was, I believe, 62.3 acres. And now the village has just purchased 62, I think,
Pretty
7
close
acres.
to the same amount.
I believe just slightly over. And that was purchased from Peter Beanstock. So we now have 120 plus acres of protected land in the course. So thank you for your efforts on both CWSLP, which I remember from long ago.
And in order to participate, we're being presented with a resolution.
Do you want to actually,
I'd like to
here
read.
is, yeah, actually here is, I believe, is this,
This is the updated
they
one.
they corrected it? Oh, okay, good, thank you.
Absent all the rest. At
Thank you.
Susan's request.
Thank you.
This is a Town of New Paltz resolution, whereas the Village of New Paltz is applying to Hudson River Greenway for a grant under the 2015 Greenway Conservancy Trail Grant Program for a project entitled Millbrook Preserve Trail Access Enhancements to be located in the town as well as the Village of New Paltz within core conserved areas and areas planned for conservation within the Millbrook Preserve, consistent with the 2014 Millbrook Preserve Management Plan. And whereas the grant application requires the applicant municipality, the Village of New Paltz, to obtain the approval of the governing bodies of the municipality or municipalities in which the project will be located. Now, therefore, it is hereby resolved that the governing board of the Town of New Paltz does approve and endorse the application for a grant under the 2015 Greenway Conservancy Small Grant Program for a project known as Millbrook Preserve Trail Access Enhancements, located within the community of the Village of New Paltz and the Town of New Paltz.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thanks, Mark.
You want to do the
Hand that
EPA
over
one?
to- So you can have that. Thank you for all that, Marty. That was huge. So,
Hopefully, we're back with other opportunities.
yes, we hope so. The community center lights. Which one do you got? I got the community center.
Okay,
lights.
all right.
Proposal for the town, there has been some work done. Actually, I was out at town hall one day and a gentleman showed up to talk to us about doing LED technology lights. Unfortunately, at town hall, with this temporary town hall, we are not eligible for them, just because of it is a rental. And they are not willing, because this is all paid for by Central Hudson Gas and Electric, so they are not willing to make an investment into something that could be gone in a year or two, or as Marty hopes, less than 3 years.
Okay.
We're working on that. So they did come to 3 Veterans Drive, which is where we're sitting. And those of you who are looking up here, you will see fluorescent tubes. And Central Hudson Gas and Electric is willing to burden all the costs to take all of these lights out and replace them with LED. The projected cost of the project is $5,287.54. We will save annually $584.88, which will save just shy of 4,500 kilowatts. Over 5 years, we will have saved just shy of $3,000, and so in 10 years, we will save just shy of $6,000 by just converting the lights out here.
So I'm going to move that we permit Central Hudson to to install the
To allow,
updated,
actually, it would be Central Hudson to allow Greenleaf Energy
their
Solutions.
affiliate, to install the lighting at 3 Veterans Drive pursuant to the proposal which we received from them dated August 2015.
Second? All in
Seconded.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. So that will be done. Roseanne, I will give this to you. Just give me a moment, I'll give that back to you. And still no Laura, that's okay. The,
Right.
doesn't sound too exciting. If you look at that one, the US EPA Technical Assistance Program with the village, to make it even shorter, that is the Hazard Mitigation Plan. For many grants and applications we do, it is required that we have a hazard mitigation plan. Stacy actually has been working on this, and actually, I'm sorry, Dave Klauser has left. Stacy has met, and I, along with Stacy and Dave, have met on the hazard mitigation plan. Dave Gilmore in the village has also worked on the hazard mitigation plan. The other nice part about it is part of it is also using the county. So the county has also produced a large portion of the hazard mitigation plan. So the biggest thing we need to do, actually, Kim, do you want that piece?
So I think Stacy told me today when I talked to her that they actually filed it.
They filed it with the Smart Growth and
Right.
Smart Cities with the EPA.
Right.
And we are only a few communities that are going to actually be offered this, and one of them, this was one of the last pieces. And this does everything. One of the big pieces we are looking at in it is the flood resilience, flood protecting, up to and including potentially hardening our wastewater treatment plant, upgrading our water systems. So this is all for sustainability for small cities and rural areas, and obviously we count as a rural area. They also have some money in there for some smart growth to maintain fiscal stability within your community. So it is quite a large piece. The mayor has also worked on this pretty closely already, even though he just got in. He and Dave Gilmore have set up to have a meeting already, which I believe, they have it on that one?
I know that they've met, I know
Yeah.
that Susan's worked with them to try to upgrade completely the sewer system, which is great.
Right.
But this particular document, I believe Jeff is,
One of those had a date, I believe.
there's a workshop September 17th and 18th, but this would just be for Stacy to attend.
Yeah,
right?
Stacy will be, thank you, that was what I was looking for. Stacy will be attending, did she give you that date also? Yep, Stacy will be attending a workshop on it, and there she will get all of the different pieces that they feel we would qualify for. So when she's done with that, she originally put this on with her coming for it, and then she realized she really had no update for us on the EPA grant, that we'll just simply be getting an update when she is done.
So I'd like to move that we authorize Stacy, and Marty, are you going to attend as well?
Yes.
To attend the workshop scheduled for September 17th and 18th on behalf of the town.
Seconded? And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Marty, thank you very much for doing that. One of the things I guess I can do is also the org chart.
Okay.
The org chart is also a piece required for grants. The org chart is, what's interesting with the org chart is one of the biggest pieces we have on it is that without an org chart, do you have it there?
No.
Let me see if she, I don't know if she stuck one in here. It is an org chart that is required for us to close a grant for which we are trying to close up on basically for recreation. And what it is, the requirement is if we don't, I don't know if they stuck it in here. And I apologize. I apologize, she did not, maybe she did stick it in here. There we go.
Yeah. it's a-
Yep, there we go. So Marty, you will like this. Here's a bigger version. Everyone would like to look at it. And again, you'll see the notes.
Something about my eyesight that you're noticing?
No, I could not read that small one either. What the org chart does is allows us to close up some greenway grants. Now, what's interesting about this is This is the final stages of closing a greenway grant for the trail, the rail trail. What it's holding up right now is until we close that grant, we are unable to even view some of the other grants we have pending in queue. One of the more exciting ones is the development of soccer fields out of the Field of Dreams, for which we do have a grant in. We have told we are in good standing with it, but until we close this one, this has a couple pieces that when this one closes will be interesting. One of them is for signage in our community for the rail trail, improved signage along the rail trail, and also approved signage that will be at the crossings to make it safer for both pedestrians and for vehicular traffic.
Is this the last piece that's needed before closing it out?
I would love to say yes. Carol and I last week were on a call about it, and we will both say to you yes right now, and then magically an email
Right,
appears
sure.
from a person we've never heard
As
of.
best as we know.
As best as we know, this will be the last piece.
Cool.
We have Erin, who has become an excellent contact and a friend of Carol's. She is with the DEC and has been helping us tremendously on this. So if it all goes through, this should be the last piece. Once we get that grant closed, we then have the pending ones we'll be looking at. And I don't know if we'll get to them this year, but we'll get to them sooner than later.
Great.
So I'd like to move that the town board adopt the organizational chart presented to the board this evening.
Second.
As the official organizational chart of the town.
All seconded again? Yeah? Yes, that's Roseanne. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. And again, Carol will be very happy with that. And Marty did the, that.
Town hall,
Yeah.
acceptance of resignation.
So the HHS agreement, I think, do you want to start talking that? Rosanna sent out a piece to us yesterday. And since this was sent out, there was a couple meetings that have been attended. There was one this morning out at Town Hall, which I stopped in, and then myself and Jean and Rosanna went down to HHS and actually went into the archive room.
But I actually, before we do the discussion, would like to just briefly enter executive session and talk about contractual and personnel.
Seconded.
Seconded for discussion. We're going to discuss the contract here with it. Do you want to wait until after we have discussed that, or is this something that's going to change as?
It's relevant to the conversation. It shouldn't be very long.
Do you want Roseanne to join us, or?
Yes, I
Okay.
appreciate it for quick comments.
All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Aye, opposed, we'll be right back. Dan?
Yeah.
I don't think,
Just
yeah.
No action taken?
No action was taken in executive session. So I would like to then continue with our discussion of the HHS agreement, and I think Dan has some pieces
Yeah,
for
I'd like
us.
to make a motion to approve $500 for the town historian to register on HRVH, as we discussed, I believe at our previous town meeting as well.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that would also, the only amendment, I believe, Dan, also included the yearly fee of $50?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so that would be included in
yes.
that. That would, I don't think we need to have another vote for that.
We have a resignation.
The only other piece, we have unfortunately a resignation from the ENCB, which we are always sorry to receive these. Yep, will do, yep. I am writing with regret to formally resign from the Environmental Conservation Board due to a full-time position that prevents me from attending the meetings, and this is from Perry Goldshine. So with regret, I'd like to make a motion that we accept Perry's resignation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And Perry, thank you for your time you did spend on it, and we wish you luck in your job. We'd also now like to do the town hall discussion, and Marty, I believe, do you want to kick that off? Or?
Yes. There's been a committee, the Municipal Space Committee, sometimes called the Building Committee, that has been spending a lot of time, and actually for quite a long time, over a period of years, looking at the needs for the town to replace its building. As people know, we're presently out on Clearwater Road in temporary trailers. They're expensive to lease. expensive to operate. So we want to replace a permanent home, create a new permanent home. In the present, we are interviewing architects. We have interviewed 4, and we're interviewing a 5th one tomorrow. After that, we will be receiving proposals from among those 5, and should have those in about 2 weeks. We'll be then able to evaluate those, consider our next steps. At some point, we have to address a lot of other topics, which will all be before us in due course, that includes such as, when do we tear down the existing municipal building? How do we pay for a new municipal building? Will the village be joining us in this effort? And all those things will be coming together in the normal course over the next months.
And I think it's pretty accurate. One is, I think one is, and we want to discuss it, is we have all of us here. How does everyone feel about the idea? I think one of the big ones is, how does everyone feel about the idea of a joint building? Anyone?
I think we've all, at least to my knowledge, been very supportive of the concept.
Yep, okay. So, I mean, we will then translate that. The current situation, again, as Marty described, is okay. I'm out there several days a week now, and Roseanna's there frequently, and,
We're making the best of it.
we're making the best. We have our comptroller, who we're making the best. I brightened her office up with a plant. It made it so much better, didn't it?
I got a bum door.
Yeah, well, and she's got a bum door. We're working on that. So we are making the best of the situation. The good news is we thought the electrical costs were really going to bury us. Fortunately, it has evened out a bit due to some efficiencies we have done in moving around some of the thermostats, also having the company come back and realign a few pieces. Also, heating it is much more expensive than cooling it, we have discovered. It cools much more efficient than it heats. So even though we had a high heating bill, we did have a very cold few months there. It has evened out. Even though we've had many hot, dry months, it has evened out a bit. So our costs are being a little bit more controlled. One thing we do need, as Marty had said, and is that as far as I know, again, we have all spoken in favor of doing it jointly with the village. I know I was at a village board meeting, and the mayor spoke also with his idea that this would be a good plan. But it does change several pieces, and one of the pieces, and again, this is a committee that's been around since 2007. And again, when I say committee, we've never officially designated them as a committee, as a board, as a commission.
Rosanna, have they been designated as the Municipal Space Committee?
Yes.
So they are.
I think that's what they were.
Yeah, I think.
So they are designated.
Properly designated.
I think they were designated that way last year.
In 2007.
14, I think we did it,
Did we do it again in 14?
yeah.
So you
I thought we did.
reconstituted
We
the
did
committee?
reconstitute.
Yeah, we reconstituted for the
We brought them in,
police,
yeah.
I believe, in for this move, I think.
Right.
So, okay, so we do have the committee then, so the piece we really need to get to them though is, if they're going to be, they've interviewed 4, they've got a 5th, so they're gonna start making recommendations to hire one, is we really do need an answer from the village, because Marty now is starting to invest quite a lot of time into it, along with, all of the other members. You've got Josh Honing, Carol Roper, Dave Lent,
George Seafried. And George Seafried.
and George Seafried have all invested large quantities of time and are starting to put a lot more in. So I think, to be fair to them, we need to find out. So I think what I'd like to do is...
If I might say, the village has requested that we join them at their meeting next Wednesday night for a joint board meeting. When I polled among ourselves, it seemed that we were not able to accommodate that schedule of theirs. We asked them if they would be willing to come join us on the following night, the 27th, for a joint board meeting. I know Tim is in favor of that. I know Tim has asked Katie to poll the village board as to their availability, but as of last night, Tim didn't know what the feedback was.
Okay,
So
so we should
perhaps
keep
we'll
that
still-
invitation open, right?
Yes, I would
So-
hope we would.
I mean, I can say too that informally, and I don't think I'm breaking any confidences here by saying this, I have spoken to every village board member about it. there were some concerns that some members had. A number of those concerns have already been addressed as well. But my sense of it, and Marty can chime in if I'm wrong, is that at this point, the majority of the board is at the very least interested in exploring this option.
That's my understanding.
Yeah. And again, I think just Marty had outlined in a...
Question
Oh.
as well.
What, okay, well...
Just
Well, we don't-
wondering if there's going to be like input from citizens at any point, seeing as this is like the people's building.
Well, there'll be a pretty lengthy public process.
Okay.
In fact, part of our conversations with each of the architects has included a discussion about how would you approach building community consensus. And there are lots of facets to that. One is, well, it's very expensive. How do we all feel about bearing the burden of that expense? Others are, well, what will it look like? And we've discussed, as with the Carmine-Libertine Bridge, that process of community involvement seemed to get a lot of positive feedback as to the fact that there was a process and how it worked and the different design concepts and narrowing it down to something that most people got comfortable with. So there would be a very detailed public process over numbers of meetings as the design portion of a new building project would move forward.
So I guess what I'll do is, Roseanne, would it be possible for you to send a email inviting them through Katie
Next Thursday?
to the
Well, they've
next...
actually been invited. Susan asked me to do that. and I
Okay, because I didn't, did you put us on that?
Yeah.
Okay, good, so maybe we just follow up, to see who will be able to attend, to see if we should be putting it on there. So thank you for the update, and I hope they do meet with us. And again, just because also Marty had indicated, for those of you that read through the one email, your timeline, and we do need to do a pretty aggressive timeline on this. And the reason being, again, is just because...
I'd say there's a consensus that my sense of a timeline, with my experience in the public sector, in the private sector, might not be the same as the perception of what a timeline might be in the
I
public
like
sector.
I like the timeline, though. So, we have Laura here. Laura, why don't you come up and join us right away? You ready? Look at that, Laura's all ready. You can sit right up there next to Roseanne.
Tell me you're almost done already.
You were minutes away from us adjourning. How about the UCR update?
They will be having a meeting Wednesday, 5:30, August 26th, to discuss what they're going to do. They had 9 towns sign up, 2 of them showed interest, and they're not really willing to carry on the contract unless they get closer to 100%. Right now, Town of Ulster is going off on their own, to be hauling their own material. So we have to-
But logistically, that makes sense for them.
It does, because they're close. Yeah, and even for the recycling, they're close.
Okay.
So I don't know what that means for the other towns. I don't know if they're going to come back with a higher rate. As it is now, as of June 1st, we are paying $85 a month to rent the containers, and $62 a pole. So it has gone up, but that was
I didn't think we were
per...
renting containers.
Yeah, the old contract, the one that was proposed back in September, October, that first raised the issue, that proposed that they charged $85, I believe, on every container, and that the fee go up to $62 per pole. I haven't seen a finalized contract.
But I
They
thought we
send
didn't
anything
need
in.
their
I thought we were going to opt out for...
Right.
Well, that this is with the contract that we opted into and that we signed in July, that does not take effect until January 1st.
But in that contract, they made it clear that no containers were assigned to
Right.
New Paltz, so that no fee would be due for the rental.
That's the January 1st contract
Okay.
for 2016.
Okay, so
Now, could
The
our...
contract that we postponed for 6 months while we were trying to negotiate something else, and then they sent us a new contract and gave us 3 weeks to make a decision on it. That one, it took effect July 1st, and that was with the previously negotiated rates. So they're just carrying on the contract. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They gave us a proposal back in the fall None of the town supervisors were happy about it. No one wanted to sign on a 10-year contract, not knowing what the fees were going to be. They also wanted to put $85 a month rental on everything. That stands. As of
Right.
July 1st, that stands. And then it should change again on January 1st, depending on what they're willing to do.
Okay.
So we're just paying the 65 poll charge right now?
62.
62.
Plus
You picked
the rental.
Plus, I believe the rental, but they never sent a final letter
Well,
out.
so let me ask you a question. We're paying for a rental. Are we actually using their equipment?
We have 4 of their roll-up containers.
right,
I
so
returned the
I'm-
rigid plastic one, I told them to take it back. And what we're able to do now is they are accepting clamshells and a lot of the other material we were putting in that container. And so far, we don't even have a hopper full of rigid. When it gets full, we'll take that by dump truck up to them.
Okay.
And you got ours, I saw it going out to get inspected, so
Yeah,
it's,
yeah, we do
everything's
have a
good?
roll-up container. In fact,
It's good?
Chris lent us one of his seasonal people who has a CDL because both Dave Weeks and Bob are out on vacation this week.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
he did fine. Took him a little bit longer, but he did
What's the
fine.
latest with brush?
Well, the latest with brush is, I had asked to be, I don't know if it's under the old business.
Yep.
The proposal is, just have 2 copies, is to amend the
Pass one
tipping
down.
fee schedule, and to make it very simple, because we do get folks coming in from out of New Paltz. They're required, if they're not within New Paltz, to pay a 1-day fee, which is $6, which is really minimal. And then they can bring in all the brush and leaves they want to. I'm proposing that they pay $5 a yard, and that would include municipalities. So if the town of Rosendale wants to bring a brush or a Sopus or any of the other townships, it's all at $5 a yard. And that will cover our costs and maintenance. And then hopefully next year, we've been I've discussed with Chris Marks from Highway about buying a better piece of equipment. I already put in for the grant.
Yeah.
And it should pay for itself within 8 to 15 years, depending on how many towns sign on. And it'll give us a nice product.
So does this sheet include your update?
This one does not, no. I wanted to show you what we already have.
Right.
There is a brush amnesty, so if you pay town or village taxes, you can bring in the brush, you do not need a permit, and there's no fee for drop-off.
When do you want us to approve the amendment?
The sooner the better, if you could do it tonight.
Would you like to provide us with the wording that you would need to be altered on this document?
Yeah.
I think all we would need, let's see, so it would be the Town of New Paltz Recycling Center 2015 fee schedule. Under organics wastes, remove residents only, and
So you're opening it up?
Left or right?
Right side, halfway down.
let's say have.
Oh, yes, okay.
Let's see, remove residents only.
Now, is this- and I'm sorry,
And then
look-
have two breakdowns.
To stop you from thinking though, is this also including food waste? Do you want to put that in there?
Oh, we don't have a precedent for
Right,
food
do you-
waste. We've always said $40 a ton. We are getting that.
I know,
right now, too.
so we're improving on that tremendously. So do you want to do you want to do this next week, or do you want to, do you have that, do you want to do?
I would like to do the organics tonight. if
Okay, we can do that.
And then
And
I'll reach out to everyone
Can we
right
do the
away.
food-
We've got quite a few trees coming.
And maybe the food waste, because I know we have a couple bids out.
So you're removing the restriction to residents
For
only?
residents only.
And you're opening it up to residents and non-residents?
Exactly.
And in the residential category, you have a fee structure, and the non-residential, you have a fee structure?
Exactly.
So what would they be?
So the residents only, there is no fee or no permit required for brush.
Okay.
So it's the same. Leaves and grass clippings, there is no fee, but there is a permit required
For?
for
Residents?
leaves and for residents.
Okay.
Non-residents, we need to pay a 1-day non-residential fee, which is only $6, and $5 a yard.
And that's the extent of your changes?
Yes.
And that's valid for the
So
full
moved.
Would
day.
that be valid for municipalities, though, or would you want to waive that 1-day fee?
No, leave it valid.
Leave it, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
leave it the same.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And did you just want to reaffirm, I don't know if we've ever officially said $40 a ton for food waste.
If you want to put it on there, I'm happy to put it on there if you'd like to, because just so everyone knows, we are doing very well on food waste, and food waste is now turning into a revenue stream for us. We have several haulers actually have an option of going to another location, I'll leave names, and they have chosen our location over the other location, really just due to Laura and her staff. And what's nice is not only is the food waste coming in very clean, as Marty, you had pointed out, your experience with food waste.
Yeah, have you seen it with the Trumbull screen now? It's
No.
beautiful.
And you would be very surprised. I'm sorry you had such a horrible experience with it.
It grew great vegetables
Oh,
though.
yeah.
But
And the
Laura,
knives and forks were
And
all
you had the
there.
forks and the knives to eat.
and
with
Laura
when it was
works
done.
very, very hard to keep our food waste very clean. And then we take it and we are then able to compost it, and we are then able to sell the compost, which also feeds into our revenue stream. To your point, it grows incredible vegetables and whatnot. So we actually do have 2 bids out right now. We are waiting to hear back from for food waste that we would arrange to pick up.
So
Laura.
the additional fee structure change is?
Is for source separated food waste,
The,
and it would be $40 a yard.
A ton.
$40 a ton.
so moved.
Second?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura. Did you have anything else for us while you have us? While you apparently have us in a good mood too?
Just, I sent out a late notice that September 12th from 11 to 3, we'll be doing a swap for success, clothing swap at the Relief Center.
Thanks for getting back to the Gardner official as well, who was looking for that information.
You said September 12th is a swap.
September 12th, that is a Saturday.
If people had things to drop off prior to that, what would they do?
We do have a clothing container there so they can put it in there. However, if they wait, then the clothing does really get swapped out. It doesn't go to Plan and Aid.
Okay.
So we do pull quite a bit out. I can't say we have wonderful volunteers from the United Methodist Church, Joan and Vinnie Gallagher, who are tireless. And they pull out quite a bit of material and take it to either the Family Inn or, is that the right one for Family of Woodstock? Or the Washington
Family.
House. Family, yeah. The shelter. They brought up the stroller and some cribs and some other cool things.
All right. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura. Really quick, we do have some prepays, budget mods. No? Yeah, I do.
You do.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Oh, I do. I do. I really do. One of them's even got my name on it, and I'm the one who asked you to do it, so it's awesome. Let's see. It looks like we have a couple here, though. The first prepay I would like to submit is for process automation control systems. These were for flow meter calibrations for Chris Mark for sewage and treatment. We had this is unfortunately a sewer 6 problem. He was able to actually find a new vendor who showed up right away and was able to fix it. It's for the amount of $400.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is for the New York State DEC. This is the Speedies permit. The Speedies permit is required that you get it each year. This permit allows you to define to the DEC how much you are going to be taking in and then what are you doing with that waste. That is a total of $425 to New York State DEC.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
I am respectfully requesting the town board approve for the attached budget transfers. Once approved or rejected, please return.
Who's that from?
I like that. I like the
Gene,
verbiage on
I like-
it. Gene, I like that. Gene, I like.
Nice cover sheet, Gene.
What I like though is even if we reject it, you still want it back. That's very, I like that. I'm all in favor. Let's see, personnel service, bookkeeping. I would like to make a motion that we increase line A522.13401 for budgeted personnel services, $8,328, and decrease the A522.122.0 supervisor personnel services line by the same amount of $8,328.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This one is for the highway department. A PO was paid out of the highway improvement fund, and it should have come out of our DB highway fund for road repair. So I would like us to make a request to increase the line of DBB 5110.4 road repair in the amount of $16,437.85 and decrease the line DBB 5112.2, which is the CHIPS fund, $1,637.85.
16,000.
I'm sorry, $16,437.85.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the last one, reimburse building and grounds payroll for the setting up and cleaning up of during the 4th of July fireworks event, which was reimbursed by the New Paltz Fireworks Committee. So I would like to increase I'd like to increase revenue line A980 2770.000 in the amount of $513.82. This must be decrease here, right?
An increase. Yep.
Oh, that's their payment. Okay, an increase of 522/1620.100, buildings and ground personnel, and 477.97. Increase the Medicare line, 522/960.800 for $29.63. And increase 522/9030.800, Social Security line, $6.22.
So moved.
All in, second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I would like to thank the tremendous detail that went into this, and everyone on the fireworks committee, and especially Carol, and our new finance head, to even track it down to the Social Security and Medicare line. So thank you very much. That should be all of those. And then moving the warrant. Kevin, would you like to move the warrant, since you and I signed it, and if it seemed rather large, Kevin, it's because
I saw
was.
it.
Yep.
I'd like to move, the town board approve the payment of the August 2015 warrant in the amount of $701,020.73.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then the last piece, so we can make Rosanna happy, the adoption of minutes, and the 2 minutes. I had July 9th and 16th.
July 9th, the 16th, the 23rd, and the 29th.
Get a little carried away there.
You're gonna carry it away.
Get a little carried away there. I had July 9th and 16th.
Just do the first two.
Next week.
Can we do the next two next week? Because I did not look at the next two.
Yes.
What were the next two? The,
23rd and the 29th.
and the 29th I was not here, I believe.
I move that the town board approve the special town board meeting minutes of July 9th, 2015. All were in attendance.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
July 16th, 2015, that there was the historian project presentation, CFA Community Choice Aggregate Letter of Support for the Millbrook Preserve, letter of support for Talafar Farms, and a New York Rising resolution. All were in attendance. I move the town board accept the minutes from the town board meeting from July 16th, 2015.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'd like to make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.